3. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video I am going to show you a product from a company that had reached out to me and wanted me to review this product. This product is called Camduck, C-A-M-D-U-C-K, yes, like the animal, and it is called the Nanny Cam. So as you see here, I am unboxing it. I'm taking it out of the packaging that came with it. And it will be bubble wrapped. So as you can see, that it was packaged very well. So basically, this product looks like a USB charger, a standard USB charger. It has a camera inside it, so that way you can see what's going on in a certain room or wherever it's plugged into your house. The USB ports actually function on this device. Alright, so as you can see, that is the box. Alright, so I open up the box here, and there is the product. There's the instruction manual, which is very easy to read, and that is the product itself. So as I'm unboxing it here, that's what it looks like. And right where that little dot is, that's the camera itself. So that's the side of the product itself. And this uses a micro SD card slot, and it's placed on, as you can see in the manual there, that slot is based near where you plug it in. It's based near the plug prongs. That's actually a good thing. And then there's a cover on it. So that is the unboxing portion, and as you will see in further along in the video, I forgot to remove the plastic piece in the box, and it comes with a tool to help you remove the back side of that. So what you want to do is you want to open up the manual, and it tells you where to download the app to run the camera. And yes, it's both for Android and iOS. So what I was just doing was looking at the manual to find out where to download the app to get the camera up and running. Alright, so I'm taking the cover off, that is the SD card slot. As I said, it's right near where you plug it in. And that is the cover for it. Now, on the side of this product, there are fans, so it does stay cool. As I stated, I forgot to remove that plastic piece, and that is the USB SD card reader is what that is. And that is a tool to use to open it up. Open the SD card cover up. So I'm taking the tool and I'm using it to pull off the cover. I'm opening up the SD card reader. I'm just checking, make sure everything is there, and it is. Now I am actually going to put an SD card into the camera itself. And the SD card goes in really easy, and the cover keeps it in the camera itself. So when you pop the cover off, that's when it ejects the SD card, so that way you can plug it into your computer and look at it. And as you saw there's a vent on there. That's for a fan. And yes, it does work. So I'm getting ready to plug the Camduck T into the wall. Just looking at everything. And yes, the card does stick out until you put the cover on. I didn't realize that at the time, but that's what happens. So that way it just makes it easier to eject. Alright, so I'm going to plug it into the wall. You're going to see a blue light. That means that the camera is getting power. The red light means that there is an SD card in there. So now I'm looking at the instructions on where to get the application to do this. And as I stated earlier, it's both for Android and iOS. Alright, so I'm going into the App Store and I'm going to type in what is on the instruction manual to get it. So as I'm typing this in, as soon as you type it in, it's going to be the first application at the top. And there it is. Now it does not take very long to download. The application is not that big. So and what you want to do is you want to start, when you're testing this out, test it with the phone directly connected to it. You want to do it that way first, so that way you get a feel for the camera and stuff like that. That's what I did. And there's two different options. There's local and then there's remote, as you see here. So now I am setting it up, as you can see right there. I thought I was having trouble with my wall outlet. Both of them actually. As you'll see here, I changed from the top plug to the bottom plug. I thought I was having trouble with the outlets. As you see later, it was my wireless router that was having issues. I didn't set the protocols right, so it wasn't allowing certain things. So I had to connect to a mesh network that had the right protocols in place. So as you can see, once I get the proper protocols in place, it will actually start working. So now I do remote, and these are all the models that will work with this app. And when you do set this up, make sure you use the right model for what you're trying to set up. So this is telling me what wireless protocols it's compatible with, the speed. This particular one is not compatible with 5G, only 2.4, which is the most common used. But that's okay. And it's giving you a diagram of how the tip of, it's a tip, like how far you should be away from the camera and your wireless. I didn't realize it was my wireless until later on. And later on in the video, I do test the USB port when I charge my iPhone 14, and it actually worked really, really well for it. And yes, you can charge phones, tablets, iPads, Android, stuff like that, and it works. It works really, really well. And as you will see later, I actually leave my room, and what you will see is me walking around, and the image still there. Alright, so the app itself is easy to use no matter what your skill level is. It's easy to read, easy to understand, easy to download, and when you are trying to set it up, you'll hear a voice tell you, please connect to the camera Wi-Fi. Please connect to the camera Wi-Fi. Please connect to the camera Wi-Fi. It'll keep saying it until you do it, so that way you don't mishear things or stuff like that. So each time you power this on, or let's say the power goes out, each time it powers on, you're going to have the flashing blue light, and if there's an SD card in there, you're going to have that as well. So this is what it looks like when it's trying to connect, when your network is trying to connect to the camera itself. If the percentage does not go above 24%, then it didn't connect. So this is where I connect to my other network. And when you set it up, there's going to be a password from the camera itself, which is randomly in there. So now I'm hooking the phone directly up to the camera. And there we go. That is me right there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cancel that for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and that's me moving my hand. This is live capture. And you have 720p and you have 1080p. So it'll do low definition and high definition. And I use the high definition just to see, and it's extremely good. Hence the name HD. So what I'm doing now is I swap over to 1080p, and it is what it is, 1080p. and it has a HD logo so you know which mode you're in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into I'm going to log into my mesh Wi-Fi network, and you'll see me actually get up and walk around. Which I will do shortly. So I am now connecting to my mesh wireless. As I stated earlier, I didn't have the proper protocols on the Wi-Fi router in my room. And see, it went past 24%. So now this is before I connected to the mesh. So it's telling me make sure that my phone is connected, which it is. And what's happening is my phone is not telling the Wi-Fi router to accept the packet from the camera. So I do that again just to check. And each time you set it up, you will get this screen just so the app knows what's going on. And a password will show up in red. That is to access the camera. So I hooked the phone directly to the camera and it works. So this proves that the camera is working. So now I'm going to go back to the remote. And this is where I connect to the mesh network. So once I get on that, you'll see me get up and actually walk around because I wanted to see how far the signal will work. I went from one side of my house to the other and there were no interruptions whatsoever. You will see that shortly. Now I didn't realize I needed to connect to that mesh network until later on. So I will be connecting to that shortly. So once I connect to that network, you'll, as I stated earlier, you will see me get up and actually walk around. There we go. And up at the top, it's easy to read it. Obviously, it has a camera symbol for camera and a Wi-Fi symbol for Wi-Fi. Easy to read. And there we go. So we are back at the camera, the local camera. So what I am doing now is I'm going to change networks. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually changing networks, or will be changing networks. And once I do that, you're going to see some really cool things happening. So this is me playing with the camera, memorized by the camera. And I'm just seeing, and down below on the left bottom hand side of the screen, you can see a timestamp. I didn't set up the timestamp, so the timestamp is alright, but see, I take a photo. I started to record. This is all saved to the SD card. So I didn't pull the SD card out in this video, but it's nice that I could just unplug the camera, take the SD card out, put it in my computer, and get video. Alright, so now what I'm doing is, since I am now connected to the mesh network, you're going to see right now I'm going to get up and I am going to walk to the other side of my house. The whole time I have the camera aimed at the phone. And as you can see, there is no disruption whatsoever. That is my room you are looking at, and there's no disruption. No bandwidth drops, no nothing. Alright, so I'm back in my room. Put the camera back on the stand. And there we go. So this works very well over Wi-Fi. And there's still the live picture. Alright. So now I am demonstrating the information here. This is the specs of the camera. It gives you camera name. It tells you which room you could set it up in. The default name is Camduck. For this purposes, I changed it to test. And the camera's still working. If you go to time settings, you can set the time up so when you do film or take pictures, it'll have the correct time. And that's the firmware version, the name, the camera ID, and you get the MAC address, but that's for reasons, that's for safety reasons, so that's why I'm not showing that. And you get details of the camera and all that. Tells you your network information. And I can factory reset the camera if I needed to. And what it's telling me to do is get the Wi-Fi information. The camera wants to know what that network is. So now, what I'm doing is I'm actually going to connect my iPhone 14 to the USB port. So this is the Camduck Cam T camera charger. Easy to use, easy to set up, and it works very, very well. I give it a thumbs up. So anyway, with that said, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and click that bell for more notifications.